What do you? Any tips for us here?
It's nice and cool in here.
Yeah. You enjoying Cannes?
Oh my gosh, I'm enjoying it, but a little too much, and I'm ready to go.
Cool. Whenever you guys are ready, we can rock and roll.
How do you think about data in the structure of your business within NBC, within Comcast?
Well, we think about it all day long.
Okay,
first of all.
especially you. Right?
And we're like-minded companies in that we really think of it from a premium perspective. Our companies come to NBC for a premium contextual experience, right? Like all of our shows, our news, we have to be really careful about data that's adjacent to that. So we only use the best of the best, really. And there are a lot of data companies out there. There's a lot of questions on where they come from. And we're always digging deeper to understand where they're collecting the data. Is it first party? Is it second party? Do they just have a tag that's been waterfall down the stream of things? Right. So we're very careful about that. Our parent company Comcast has had a very conservative approach to data in the past, and we firmly commit to following on with that and even going beyond their commitment to keeping consumers safe. We're a consumer business first and foremost.
But one thing we've talked about a lot, and I think is certainly interesting for both of our companies, is changes in the data ecosystem, right? There's certainly changes from a regulatory point of view, but I also think there's just a lot of interesting growing up going on, and a lot of maturity, which, frankly, I think many of us welcome. But what's your take on the data ecosystem today and where it's going, where we're going?
Well, you and I haven't done the deep dive in the last 3 or 4 months on it, but I like both of your words, right? Or I suppose all three of them. Growing up in maturity, it does feel like industry-wide we're at that moment. We've kind of moved from being an industry that was one part of the overall marketing environment and ecosystem to something that I think for most is well north of half of their marketing investment digitally. Going through the use of technology, the use of data science in order to make informed marketing decisions at the speed and scale in which you need them. From our perspective, our platform connects to all these digital screens out there, but the appeal of that through television, through digital out of home, it has this sense of get to a good, high quality, long-term, enterprise class answer for the industry, because you need to. On one hand, right, it's where marketing has gone and is going, and two, the alternative, and the alternatives feel decidedly unappealing.
I'll just straight up say, as we were chatting, not all data is created equal, but first party data is really important, and Foursquare stands on a foundation of consumers inviting us to connect with them. So for my whole career, I've spent time understanding how consumers articulate what their needs are. We translate their needs and their values into brand value, and then measure that through an end-to-end solution. And at Foursquare, we not only do online advertising and programmatic and mobile advertising, but what's even more important is we're able to actually create custom target audiences and then attribute those connections that consumers make with us back into return on investment and sales.
Yeah, no, it's so important, and it's a lot of parallels to the things we think about, obviously, at Watson Advertising. We come out of the legacy of the weather company, so data is critically important to everything we do, both weather and location.
We're about those personal connections and making sure that we offer consumers value and valuable connections and tips, and translate their tips to other tips for other consumers that have, I call it fingertips, deep insights about what consumers really care about, what they value, and then what are the leading trends in terms of food and entertainment and places that they go.
Well, that really is the key point, because that value exchange with consumers I think is what's going to be the path forward for the data space. For us, that means we're going to give you the world's best weather forecast in our apps and desktop. And in order to do that, we have to ask for your location, right? So similar to Foursquare, there's kind of a trade there that feels fair and equitable for the consumer.
Right. Well, I do want to know about the weather and the location that I'm in. Right?
Yeah, right. We can't help you if you don't help us. And I know you've also spent some time thinking about identity as well, right? That's another key area. Tell us some more about that.
Almost without alloy, the real questions are, how do in fact I, engage with end consumers in a way that they recognize and feel rewarded and feel respected. To do that, you need identity. You need to actually have a persistent sense of who your best customers are, who your prospects are, in a way that they're excited about. They're excited about the value exchange, and doing it basically with the ecosystem and with the industry. This idea that it's not a single company's asset, but it's a shared asset, and to do it in a way that basically encourages and recruits people to contribute their first-party data, to build it on a world-class stack. It happens to be built on IBM Cloud, which is nice. And to do it with government, to do it with civil society, to do it in a way that I'm in my 40s, and I think to myself, we're in this spot where we get to have a advertising experience that we can be proud of for future generations, and that's the moment in time they're in right now. So let's do it right.
So I love where you're leading this, which is the future, right? In many ways, this moment might be about correcting some things that weren't so great in the past, but really setting up the future. What does the future look like, right? Where does all this go? We're at Cannes. This is the perfect opportunity to talk about the big vision, where it all goes next.
What I really want to talk about is the fact that when on the basis of the major insight that when I was the CEO of the ARF, we did ground truth research that was highly quantified that demonstrated unequivocally that 75% of the effectiveness of advertising is driven by the creative and only 25% media. And there's so much discussion and such high expectations of programmatic buying, but be that said, the creative has to be great. And so the other thing that I'm really, really excited about for the future, but there's this great quote, the future is here today, it's just unevenly distributed. And so I believe that today, and I believe that we're helping architect that at Foursquare. What we say at Foursquare is that, and what we believe and what I personally believe is the places people go are the best indication of who they are. And I've said for years and years, people vote with their feet, right? You can logic them in creative messages, you can try to appeal to them emotionally, but the place where you really can find where the rubber hits the road and how we're going to build sales is by understanding where people go and how to reach them with messages that they find relevant.
I think for us at IBM, data is so critical, and we've heard things like data is the oil for the ecosystem, but really it's also the oil for artificial intelligence, right? For that to work effectively and properly, it has to have strong data sets behind it, because frankly, bad data is going to lead to bad outcomes. What do you see, and what does kind of NBC see as the future of data for both the ecosystem and for your own business?
Sure. Well, first of all, we see data across all platforms, and in a marriage of the digital with television. But from an AI perspective, we've been developing an AI tool which can crawl through the scripts of television media programs and then crawl through the scripts of commercials and make sure you can get an experience in the commercial break that matches what you're experiencing during the show. So if you think about it, if you're watching This Is Us, one of our best shows, it's very emotional. As a matter of fact, I feel it just talking about it. So as you're watching This Is Us, if you're feeling an emotion, if you happen to be crying, the last thing you want to see is a hamburger ad. Right? You want to see an ad for life insurance, for car insurance, for something that has to do with your family. And we feel like it's really important that now that we have all this data, we put it to good use and make sure people experience an emotion and continue to experience that through the whole commercial.
Brilliant.
Wonderful.
Denise, thank you so much. I love your perspective.
You've
got data, you've got context, you've got the future, you've got AI. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thanks so much for taking some time. Joe Zawadzki.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.